Hi, I'm John Carvalho, president of Stone Oak Capital and Divestopedia. This is our masterclass on selling a mid-market business. In this class, we're talking about selecting the M&A advisory team. I'm joined by my peers of world-class investment banking experts, Michael Carter, managing partner at Carter, Morse and Goodrich in Southport, Connecticut, Simon Davies, managing director at Spectrum Corporate Finance in the UK, Bill Snow, Managing Director with Jordan, Knopf and Company in Chicago, Illinois. So let's get right into it, gentlemen. Bill, let's talk about the professionals that are actually involved in an M&A advisory team. Who are those professionals? And maybe you can talk to that.
Sure. Great question, of course. You're going to have a lawyer, you're going to have accountants, and I'm sure everybody on this panel will agree you should have advisory assistance vis-a-vis an investment banking firm. The investment banker is going to handle the process, putting the materials together, contacting the buyers, negotiating business terms. The lawyers are very important. Obviously, you want to have an M&A attorney. They're going to be taking the baton, so to speak, and crafting the purchase agreement with a lot of input from the investment bankers. Obviously, the accountants, the auditors are going to be very important in that process. And depending on the situation, you might have an environmental consultant come in and do a phase one, a phase two, depending on the situation, of course. And you might see IT, database, maybe marketing consultants. Really depends on the deal, but the main ones are going to be investment banker, lawyers, and accountants.
Michael, are there any situations where you think that an investment banker is not involved? You know, say that's an unsolicited offer. Could an M&A lawyer handle the process? And obviously, we're biased here as investment bankers. But do you think that there might be a situation where an investment banker is just not needed in the process?
I'm totally biased, so just to make that clear. So no, I can't. We have situations where literally the buyer and the seller had a handshake agreement and they were hired and we add value. So even, and what happens is you've got two people who think they have a deal and they really don't have a deal. So in those circumstances, we scale back our services, we scale back our fees, but they at least have someone that's been there, done that before, that is by their side, pointing out the dozens of things that come up, despite the fact that those two sides have a handshake agreement. I just wanted to add, because you're editing this for Bill's comment, I think two other people would be important to the team. Nowadays, when we represent a seller, we always have a quality of earnings firm, and that's very often separate from the existing accounting firm for obvious reasons that there may be some conflict. And the second is having an estate planning professional there. If you can do some estate planning, it's very often people focus on purchase price. It's really net of taxes, and if you can make some changes 12 months before a transaction and help your case, that's always very helpful.
Great points.